My friend, this is all control, like, you know, and imagine the 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 Westerners are saying, you see, terrorists, like, you know, terrorists blocking the Red Sea channel, my friend, like, you know, the Suez Canal, and you got all these terrorists in the past. The Russians, the Americans created all these terrorists, Mujahideen, you know, in Afghanistan, so that they can control all this poppy for, you know, leave it for the pharmaceutical companies, like, you know, for drug, because that's the biggest kind of chunk for pharmaceutical companies in the West, because you got all these narcotics as well, like, you know, and so Afghanistan makes 4 billion dollars, like, you know, a year. So the Americans, all these Europeans, are #1 destination for all these poppies, like all this marijuana, all these drug for pharmaceutical, morphine, all that kind of stuff, you know, for pharmaceutical companies. So they make serious business, like, you know. So they were saying terrorists, mujahideen, like, you know. So that was an excuse to take all the economical resources of all these communities, like, you know. And so that's what we had. That's what we had, all this mujahideen, all that kind of stuff, like, you know. It was saying terrorism on the media, and that's a propaganda, my friend. Like, you know, you just blind and make deaf people with propaganda, and you take what you want, my friend, resources. Okay, so that's the same thing in Houthis, like, you know, in Iran, from Yemen, and, you know, don't forget we are related to that area, my friend. Like, you know, you go all this Babylon, Somalia, Eritrea, Red Sea. It's exactly like this, all this ERITREAN PERRIPULUS Eritrea, which I put on my link in the past, which was about slave trade, that they were making serious business, like, you know, in the antiquities, like, you know, we're talking about 2,100 years ago, 2,000 years ago, okay? So now they want to create again that excuse, so that, like, you know, they blind people with the TV, with the media. And I put the link for you in the this sea traffic trade on the link, like, you know, so that you can just, you got all this risk thing, like, you know. So we got all this Babylon, Suez Canal trade, which made the you know, the traffic, instead of going all the way to Cape of Good Hope, you go directly via the Suez Canal, and, you know, and the consumption, the economy, reduction of all these economical, you know, cut expenses are cut by half, and the speed, and, you know, the speed and the rate of your travel destination of all your goods. If you're coming by Suez Canal, I think it was done by the French companies and all these Europeans, you know. It was made very fast, so it cut by half the speed of all these goods, merchandise to its destination in Europe, everywhere, like, you know. So now they're saying, oh, these Houthis, they're blocking the way, like, you know. So now what they're trying to just create all the tactics, propaganda tactics, like, so that people get freaked out. Yeah, petrol is going to increase. You all these Houthis. So exactly that's the same thing like this Mujahideen they had in the past, like, you know, in Afghanistan, all these countries, like, you know, the Americans, all the Western countries are very smart people, like, you know, they use their brain. So they make all these people, all of us, like, you know, so they want to sell slaves, my friend. Like this peripulus Eritrean in the past, okay? So not necessarily nowadays slaves, you don't sell them physically, you sell them all their organs, you make them stupid and illiterate, no education. So you take all their resources, my friend, all the country's resources. You always make them live in a perpetual poverty, my friend, okay? So that's the whole idea, my friend, okay? So this area is called, you know. So that's a perpetual poverty for the rest of all their lives, their kids, you know, all their offsprings. That's the whole thing. Houthi. All the international eyes are open to that thing. Exactly like this Mujahideen that they had in Afghanistan. And on the other hand, they take all the poppies, my friend, for pharmaceutical companies. Brain, my friend. So, hey, we gotta be extremely clever. And where? What it means is they will take over our villages, my friend. You know, all these Wahadas, Berhenet, Ahune, Arat, Atqiyh, Masawa, Zula. My friend, we're gonna be kicked out. Okay? So we gotta be extremely clever, like, you know. These are people with brain, really very, you know, they know what they're doing. So that's a propaganda war to take the resources, and you know. So I put the link already, the book, how the slaves were being sold in the past. You know, for these nations. The link of the books are there. You know, so this is one of those words, my friend. 9 Elms, okay? So you got everything linked together, my friend, okay? So our seas, my friend, travel, access in the Red Sea, Indian Ocean, my friend, okay? All these our resources, access to trade, my friend, okay? And so we got to be extremely clever, where, you know, the way they make us blind and, you know, stupid, like, you know, what happened is you lose your village. Yeah, my friend, you slaves, you don't have any place. You're gone, you know. Oh, Houthi took your place. So what we're gonna be is slaves. If we leave our villages, our towns, and our sea, and our area, we're gonna be slaves, my friend. We don't have anything. Doesn't matter how much educated you are. Doesn't matter what mortgage you got. Maybe 100 houses in Europe. If you don't have a village, if you don't have a place that you own, my friend, like all these English people, all these French people, they got their nation, they got their village, they got their, you know, mansions, and, you know, their winery, all their groves, you know, big land. If you lose it, my friend, on the excuse of all these Houthis, you're a slave, my friend, okay? So your means of communication, your language, your culture, your tradition, we're gonna be all Baptists, my friend, you know? All this like the Western nation, no value, no economy, no power, okay? No agriculture, no trade, no business, okay? So Houthi, that kind of from. I don't take that nonsense, my friend, okay? So it's exactly like all these people in the past using all this terrorism. Mujahideen, or rebel. Did you see Obama always following with this joystick? Boom, you know? So that's clever, my friend, you know, Western world. That's how they operate. They show you on the news, on the media, something else, but they're doing something else. So also just to share my ideas, to add to the clips I did say. Okay, thank you guys. You have a lovely day. So this is London, my friend. We're gonna end up always refugees. This old big building, like, you know, all these skyscrapers always waiting, scratching and scraping, cleaning the tables for the rest of our lives. If we don't have what our village, our sea, that's what's waiting for us, okay? So we're gonna be clever people with brain. Okay, you got a lovely day.